Hi, welcome friends. Today, we're going to watch a beautiful, motivational, feel-good fantasy film. Without wasting any more time, let's watch the movie. In the beginning, a chubby girl who draws a man's portrait is introduced as the heroine of our story, Ju-wong. However, she isn't interested in studying and often sleeps in class. Seeing this, the teacher throws a piece of chalk at her. She suddenly wakes up. Ju-wong is not good at studies. The teacher often scolds her, and her classmates bully her, calling her fatty. Even at home, her mom scolds her for eating unhealthy food and failing all her subjects. This is the tragic life of Ju-wong. But despite all this, Ju-wong holds on to hope, believing that one day, her life will change. Even though her life is full of sadness, she enjoys going to school for two reasons. First, on her way to school, she eats her favorite pizza from a nearby shop. It seems that pizza is the reason she's gained weight. Second, her happiness at school is Foam, the hero of our story. Seeing him makes her happy because she has a crush on him. But she doesn't love him just because he's good-looking. Foam is kind-hearted and treats everyone equally, regardless of their appearance. His good behavior and manners impress Ju-wong. To get closer to Foam, she tries various ways. Foam is a topper and part of a special student committee that only high-performing students can join. So, to get closer to him, Ju-wong needs to study well, but she's not interested in studies. Then she discovers another way, running in the school elections. If she stands as a candidate, she might have a chance to get noticed. During the campaign, candidates must give speeches about what they will do for the students if they win. A girl named Lin, who is beautiful and smart, confidently delivers her speech. The students murmur among themselves, saying she is sure to win. Next, Ju-wong comes on stage. As usual, students make fun of her appearance, but she speaks confidently anyway. After the speech, Lin's friend checks an app that shows the live voting count. She shows Lin that she's in the lead while Ju-wong has only one vote, her own. Ju-wong then goes around asking everyone to vote for her. But no one takes her seriously. Suddenly, a boy grabs her bag and bullies her again. Ju-wong pleads with him to return it, but he challenges her. "If you catch me and get your bag back, I'll vote for you, and so will all my friends." He runs away. Excited by the thought of gaining votes, Ju-wong starts chasing him. After a long chase around the school, she gets tired. The bully throws her bag onto a tree. Students laugh at her, but Ju-wong doesn't give up. She bravely climbs the tree and gets her bag. As she happily shouts out in victory, the branch breaks and she falls down. Seeing her confidence and spirit, her vote count increases on the app, and she climbs to 5th place. Lin and her friends can't accept this and start planning something evil. Later, chaos breaks out in class when one of Lin's friends claims her purse was stolen. The teacher begins checking students' bags. When it's Ju-wong's turn, Lin's group has already planted the purse in her bag to ruin her name and get her out of the election. The teacher scolds Ju-wong, accusing her of theft. Ju-wong tries to explain she didn't do it, but the teacher doesn't listen and removes her from the election, asking her to bring her parents the next day. That night, Ju-wong walks alone, feeling frozen and hopeless. She thinks to herself, students bully her, she fails her exams, and now she's labeled a thief. All hope seems lost. At that moment, an old lady appears and falls down. Even though Ju-wong has lost everything, her kind heart leads her to help the lady. The old woman says, "I'm okay, but you don't look okay. It seems like your life is filled with problems, and now you're afraid to go home." Shocked by how the old woman knows all this, Ju-wong tries to leave. But the old lady stops her, gives her a bracelet, whispers some magical words, and advises her to go home and sleep. "Tomorrow," she says, "your problems will be solved." The next day, Ju-wong gets ready for school. She looks at the bracelet and scratches the stone on it, unknowingly activating a magical timer. She tries to say goodbye to her mom, but no one is at home. She takes her bicycle and rides to the pizza shop, but it's empty. Even the roads are deserted. She sees pizza and chicken on the counter, but doesn't touch them. She rides to school. At school, her skirt tears while parking her cycle. She notices it, but rushes inside, afraid of being late. When she enters the school, she is shocked. No one is there. Her classroom is empty. Ju-wong was tired of it all. The bullying, the loneliness, the constant feeling of not fitting in. The night before, overwhelmed and broken, she had told an old woman she met, "I hate this world. I don't want anyone. I just want to be alone in it." And now, as she walks through the school halls, something feels different. Strangely peaceful. No noise, No students, no teachers, no bullies, just silence. Ju-won smiles. For the first time, she feels truly free. She wanders the empty school, enjoying her solitude. It feels like the world belongs only to her. Then she spots Lin's bicycle. Lin, the one who always made her life miserable. A surge of anger rises within her. She knows she can't hurt her, but maybe a little harmless payback will do. So she ties Lin's cycle with a rope and hangs it high above the basketball court. As she turns, she sees a can of paint. Inspired, she walks to the wall and writes boldly, "I love foam." Grinning, she hops on her own cycle and rides through the streets. She stops at her favorite pizza shop and, with no one to stop her, eats everything she wants. She even packs snacks to take home. At home, full and content, Ju-won dozes off. But as she sleeps, her bracelet, an old gift she'd nearly forgotten about, gets scratched. The small timer embedded in it clicks off. Suddenly, everything changes. Her mother storms into her room, yelling at her for eating too much junk food. Ju-won wakes up confused and groggy. Was it all just a dream? Still dazed, she rushes to school. But on the way, she sees something that freezes her in her tracks. The pizza shop owner is outside, frantically talking about how all his food was mysteriously stolen. Her heart races. When she reaches the school, there's a crowd gathered at the basketball court. Students are laughing and pointing. Ju-won pushes through and sees Lin, crying, suspended from the hoop, tangled with her bicycle, yelling, "I don't know how I got here. Someone help me." Ju-won's eyes dart to the wall nearby. The words, "I love foam," stare back at her in bold paint. It wasn't a dream. Stunned, she asks a nearby student to pinch her. She needs to be sure, but when she turns to see who pinched her, it's foam. She flushes red and bolts to her classroom, heart pounding. There, she notices something else. Her skirt is torn, just like in her dream. It's real. All of it. After school, she runs home and tells her mother everything. But her mother just listens quietly, then scolds her. "You're imagining all this because of the junk food. Stop eating like that." Feeling helpless, Ju-won retreats to her room, only to find her secret stash of snacks outside. Sitting beside them, casually eating, is the old woman from before. Ju-won screams and grabs a tennis bat in fear. But the old woman stays calm and says, "Put that down. Now tell me, how was your world with no one in it?" Ju-won demands, "Did you do all this to me?" The old woman shakes her head. "Not me. The bracelet." She explains that the bracelet holds a mysterious power. If scratched a certain way, it creates a separate timeline. An 8th day of the week, just for the wearer. A full 24 hours where the world freezes. No humans, just the wearer. Free to do anything. But she warns, if someone is touching something at the moment the timeline is created, they might be pulled into it too. Ju-won gasps. "So that's how Lin ended up in the basketball court?" The old woman nods. "Use it wisely. Don't waste it." And just like that, she vanishes. The next day, Ju-won decides to try again. But this time, for something more meaningful. She freezes time and sneaks into Feng's room. She's always admired him, but never had the courage to speak. Feeling insecure about her weight and appearance, she communicates with him using sticky notes. She writes, "I'm an alien from another world. Shall we be friends?" To keep her identity secret, she looks around for a name and finds the pi symbol in a math notebook. She writes her name as Pi. Feng sees the note and laughs, thinking it's a prank. He throws it away, until he finds a second note. "I'm real. Don't think it's a prank." Confused but intrigued, he replies, "Should I call you alien or angel?" Ju-won smiles and writes back, "Alien sounds weird. Call me angel." At last, she's talking to Feng. Later, her teacher confronts her, accusing her of stealing a classmate's purse. Ju-won tries to explain the strange things happening in school, but the teacher doesn't believe her. "Unless my desk ends up in the bathroom, I won't believe a word." Seconds later, his desk is teleported to the bathroom. Shocked, he finally believes her and explains the situation to the class. Ju-won is relieved. As days pass, her secret communication with Feng grows deeper. One day, he seems upset. She asks why. "There's a basketball tournament for 11 days, he writes. "But my school will only allow 2 days off." Ju-won decides to help. When the headmaster's assistant walks by with the official circular granting 2 days off, Ju-won subtly changes it to 11 using her powers. The assistant, unaware, distributes the circular. The teachers are surprised, but the assistant insists, It was signed by the headmaster. The whole school is overjoyed. Feng, especially, is excited to play. During the tournament, Feng's team is losing until Zhuang helps with a little time-freezing magic. They win, and everyone cheers for Feng. That night, Zhuang overhears Lin and her friend talking in the restroom. "You're a committee member, and soon you'll win the election too. We already sabotaged Zhuang by putting that purse in her bag, but we need to do more." Zhuang, hiding in the stall, hears everything. Her eyes narrow. They're going to pay. 2 days later, when the headmaster arrives and sees the school empty, he's furious. He demands answers. The assistant has no idea how the circular changed. Panicking, he calls all students back. Zhuang returns too. With a plan, she gathers all the stolen purses and places them in Lin's bag, exposing her. Sweet revenge. Her relationship with Feng continues to blossom through sticky notes. One day, Feng writes, "I know you helped me win the match, but I want to win on my own next time." She replies, "I know you're confident. I believe in you." Still, Zhuang wants to be closer to him. Not just through notes, she remembers Lin's friend talking about the student committee and learns that to be a member, she needs to be in the top 3 in class. Determined, she uses her time-freezing power during the exams and writes perfect answers. When results are announced, everyone is shocked, especially Zhuang. For the first time, she's the top student. Feng is second, and Lin is third. Even the students who once bullied her start treating her with respect. Teachers praise her. Deep down, she feels a bit guilty, but also happy. She's getting closer to Feng, spending time in the committee room, and growing more confident every day. Lin watches from afar, frustrated but powerless. One day, through the notes, Zhuang writes, "What if you don't like the way I look when we meet?" Feng responds, "I don't care about appearances. We're friends forever. I don't judge people like that." Feng smiles and writes, "When can we meet?" And Zhuang, heart racing, replies, "Soon. I'll tell you soon." One day, when a student asked Feng about a tough math question, unfortunately, Feng didn't know the answer, so he handed it over to Zhuang, asking her to solve it. Zhuang, unsure and flustered, didn't know what to do, but in a rush of anxiety, she used her bracelet, a mysterious gift that granted her unique powers. With it, she rushed to the library to search for a reference. She scoured all the students' books, hoping to find the solution. After hours of searching, she ended up in the staff room, where she finally discovered the answer. The math teacher had already solved the sum. Relieved, she copied it down and proudly showed it to Feng, as if she had solved it herself. Feng, unaware, congratulated her, and soon, the whole class started coming to her for help with their own maths question problems. Zhuang, overwhelmed by the attention, continued using her bracelet to solve everyone's sums. As the workload grew, she became more and more tired. But it didn't end there. The sports period arrived, and despite feeling drained, Zhuang was suddenly pushed forward by Lin to participate in the 1,500-meter race. The class cheered, and the sports teacher encouraged her to do her best. With no choice but to run, Zhuang joined the race. But as soon as it started, she realized she couldn't keep up. Her classmates dashed ahead, while she struggled to move. In desperation, Zhuang froze time using her bracelet and took a moment to rest. Then, with the power of her bracelet, she managed to slowly inch forward, crossing the finish line first. Lin and her friend, determined to make a fool of her, recorded a video of her strange performance. But when they watched it, something caught their attention. Every time Zhuang touched her bracelet, she moved ahead. Their suspicion grew. Meanwhile, Zhuang wrote to Feng, telling him that after the exams, she would meet him. Feng, excited, asked how he could recognize when she came. Zhuang promised that she would be wearing a white dress. But there was one problem. Zhuang don't have proper white dress. So, she went to a nearby shop, hoping to buy one with her savings. The dress was beautiful, but it was too expensive. Desperate, Zhuang used her bracelet to take it. For a moment, guilt washed over her, but she quickly left the shop, forgetting her notebook in the process. Later, Zhuang was shocked to discover that her locker had been tampered with. Lin and her friend had somehow gotten their hands on her bracelet. But they didn't know it only worked for Zhuang. They rushed to her classroom and checked her bag, where they found the white dress. As they dug through her things, Lin discovered that Zhuang had been secretly writing notes to Feng. Lin, growing more suspicious, realized that Zhuang had planned to meet Feng after the exams. In a fit of vengeance, Lin threw Zhuang's bracelet in the trash. That was the turning point in Zhuang's life. The final exams were coming, but she was unprepared. The bracelet was now gone, and without it, she felt hopeless. In a moment of desperation, Juwong cheated on the exam, using notes to help her. But she was caught. The teacher immediately called her mother, informing her that Juwong had cheated. Her mother was devastated. Then, the dress shop owner arrived at the school, explaining that Juwong had come to the shop the day before, taken the white dress, and left her notebook behind. This revelation only added to the shame. Her mother was furious and heartbroken. "You've cheated on the exam, lied to me, and now you've stolen. What happened to you?" she yelled, slapping Juwong across the face. Humiliated and broken, Juwong ran out of the school. She was so consumed with guilt and shame that she didn't know where to go. She wandered the streets, feeling lost and confused. In her anger, she shattered glass bottles along the road. And then, miraculously, she found the bracelet lying on the ground. But it was too late. She had already drifted too far from everything. From school, from her friends, and from her mother. She isolated herself in an abandoned building, felt heartbroken. Juwong's mother, frantic and heartbroken, searched everywhere for her daughter. Days passed, and Juwong remained unreachable. Juwong, feeling utterly alone and consumed by guilt, remembered her promise to Fong. She had planned to meet him after the exams to apologize and confess her mistakes. She hoped that doing so might ease the pain in her heart. She went to the place where they had agreed to meet. But to her shock, Lin had came there, wearing the white dress she had described to Fong. Lin, having discovered everything from Juwong's notebook, approached Fong and introduced herself as Pai. Watching this, Juwong's heart shattered. She felt a deep sadness and depression settle in. To numb her pain, she turned to junk food. Juwong's mother searched for her and cried for Juwong. Without knowing all of this, Juwong freezes time and steals food from her mom's shop. Meanwhile, she notices a poster that her mom put up. The poster reads, "I'm already sad because I lost my daughter. In this situation, you have stolen many foods, and now I can't afford my losses. If you want to do something in return, please find my daughter." When Juwong saw the poster, a wave of guilt overwhelmed her. She realized that by using her bracelet to steal and lie, she had hurt the one person who cared for her. She had made the same mistakes over and over again. Now, she wanted to make things right. Juwong decided to take responsibility, but she didn't know where to start. She began by collecting trash from the streets, working hard and doing honest labor. It was a small step, but it was a beginning. While she collects the trash, that old lady came by. Upon seeing her, Juwong cries and says, "I don't want this bracelet. Because of this, my whole life was ruined." The old lady replies, "This bracelet was a gift. In this stressful, rushing world, no one has time, but you have one extra day in a week. With that time, you could have done many good things, like losing weight or studying well. Instead, you chose to cheat. Did you ever think about your mother and how hard she works? She is now worried about you being lost." The old lady asks, "Why don't you go home?" Juwong replies, "I can't face her with this shame." She feels guilty about her mistakes. The old lady gives her another chance, saying she won't be punished for her mistakes, but they will remain. Overcoming them is a challenge. This time, use that bracelet honestly and correct your mistakes. Now, go home first. Juwong fearfully enters the house, afraid her mom might scold her. But when her mother sees her after several months, she hugs her, crying, and apologizes for yelling at her. "From now on, I won't yell at you. You can live your life how you want, but never leave," her mom says, crying. At this point, Juwong fully understands her mother. After several months, she returns to school. She can't study in the same class. They failed her, and now she's in a junior class. When she goes to her chair, the other students isolate her. They say, "She's a thief. We can't sit with her." But Juwong politely says to the teacher, "It's okay. I'll sit alone." Despite this, the students continue bullying her, throwing paper at her and shouting, "Thief!" Seeing all this, she feels sad. This time, she uses the bracelet, not to cheat, but to work hard. She doesn't waste any time on that extra day. She studies and goes jogging to lose weight, throwing all her junk food in the trash. She puts all her effort into her studies. In between, she remembers Fong. She thinks, Fong was not ours, but we should at least visit his room. So, she uses the bracelet again. When she enters the room, she is shocked to see all the sticky notes pasted on the wall. Among them, she finds happy news. Fong had discovered that Lin was not the real Pai. He left a note saying, I don't know where you went, but I miss you a lot. Seeing this, Jiwang is happy and replies, using my powers, I made several mistakes. To correct them, I need time. After that, I will come and meet you. She places the note, and her favorite doll on that note. Now, she has full hope. She starts running and studying, using her extra time. She repeatedly does this and puts in all her effort, working hard. After 1 year, we see Jiwang's mom waiting for her at a dress shop. Jiwang walks down the stairs, slim and beautiful from all her hard work. At this moment, we understand that anyone can achieve their goals through determination and hard work. Jiwang now enters the school with full confidence. The students are shocked by her transformation. In class, students stare at her. Meanwhile, the teacher announces that Jiwang is the topper in the class. All the students who bullied her now clap for her. For the first time, she feels proud. She no longer feels guilty because she didn't cheat. Instead, she studied hard and became the topper. Later, Fong comes to meet her with her doll and asks, "Are you the pie?" In a panic, Jiwang says, "No," and pretends not to know anything. Fong is confused and says sorry before leaving. That night, Jiwang feels that in her panic, she lied and decided she should tell Fong the truth. The next morning, she goes to Feng's room, but he's not there. She finds a letter from him saying, "Actually, I've been in this school because of you. I've waited long enough. Since there has been no reply from you, I'm leaving." Reading this, Jiwang is heartbroken. She grabs her cycle and rushes to the school to see Fong, but he's already left. His friend tells her that Fong must be at the railway station. At that moment, she tries to use her bracelet, but she has already used her 24 hours for the week, so it doesn't work. Nevertheless, she rides her cycle as fast as she can and reaches the station just in time to see the train leaving. She tries to tell Fong she's Pi, but he can't hear her. The train speeds away. Jiwang, feeling sad, goes forward and writes Pi value on the platform, believing that one day Fong will return for her. Later, while jogging, she sees the old lady again. There's a child shouting, "I don't want anyone in this world." Seeing him, Jiwang feels the same way she did at the beginning. She hands the bracelet to the old lady saying, "It seems you found a new customer. I don't need this anymore." Then, Jiwang continues her jog and this beautiful story ends. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.